Revelation, Isaiah, Daniel, and Ezekiel all prophesied a great falling away, a beast system, a global deception with only a remnant preserved. He said, though the numbers of the children of Yahusha be as the sand of the sea, only the remnant shall be saved, in Romans 9:27. This is part of Yahuwah's design, to awaken, to warn, to refine his people before Yahuwah's return. Deception serves a purpose, to awaken the hungry, to purify the bride, and to prepare the kingdom for the return of the king. This is the role of the 144,000 in the remnant, not just to escape deception, but to pull others out. Noah never asked us to make a religion out of him, but to follow him to the Father. And the Father's kingdom always was a mission. He said, I must preach the kingdom of Elohim to the other cities. Also, because for this purpose I have been sent. In Luke 4:43, he said he didn't come to build his own kingdom. He came to build his Father's kingdom. He said, thy kingdom come. It is about restoring us to the Father's house. Just like the prodigal son, he came as the way, not the destination, the door, not the palace. He brings us to Yahuwah, the one true Elohim. We are to walk in the full truth of who Yahusha is and what he came to restore. And this is life eternal, but they may know you, and the only true Elohim, and Yahusha, Messiah, whom you have sent in John 17. This is the narrow way, the ancient path, and the true good news. Yahuwah in Leviticus 23 were never man's feasts or Jewish traditions or temporary rituals. They were and are still eternal appointments, set apart time to remember him and the things that he has allowed us to go through. Yahuwah set these times. It is not man-made. And they are times to appointments set by Yahuwah himself. Yahusha said he came to fulfill the law, not abolish. He said, do not think that I came to destroy the Torah or the prophets. I did not come to destroy, but to fulfill in Matthew 5. And the Greek word for fulfill here is perilerio, which means to fill up, to complete, not to cancel. Yahusha embodies these feasts. He was the Passover lamb. We are to still celebrate his feast. He sent the Ruach HaKodesh on Shuvot, Pentecost. But this doesn't mean that those feasts are over. It means their prophetic significance is ongoing. The Sukkot still awaits fulfillment. And Leviticus 23 calls them Yahuwah's feast, not Jewish feast. Speak to the children of Yahusha, the Father said. He said, say to them, the appointed times of Yahuwah, which you are to proclaim as set apart gatherings. My appointed times are these. These are not cultural traditions. They are covenant appointments. Modayim, where Yahuwah meets with his people. And he clearly says it is a statute forever throughout your generation and all your dwellings, to be passed on for generation to generation, to teach your children these commandments. Many modern believers ignore this and instead celebrate pagan feasts and say that I will not celebrate Santa Claus, but I will celebrate Christ, because that's what I believe. The church replaced Passover with Easter, replaced the Sabbath with Sunday, ignored all the feasts entirely. This was not based on scripture, but on political and religious animism and a desire to consolidate power, which the ignorant and unstable twist to their own destruction. 2 Peter 3. People often take out of context, assuming that when he talked about not being under the law, he meant the feast, the Sabbath, or commandments were abolished. But Paul himself said, we do not nullify the Torah through faith. Certainly not. On contrary, we establish the Torah in Romans 3:31. Yahuwah's feasts are prophetic and ongoing. The feasts are shadows of pictures of the Messiah's work, past, present, and future. Yahuwah filled the spring feast, and he will return to fulfill the fall feast. Yom Torah, the trumpets, return to the king. If we ignore the feast, we miss the blueprint of the entire redemptive plan. Bottom line is this: the feasts of Yahuwah are not abolished, forgotten, or replaced. They are eternal and prophetic and sacred. The enemy has worked overtime to erase them because they are appointments that draws us back into covenant and renewal of Yahuwah's timeline. Yahusha himself warned would happen a global deception permitted by Yahuwah, but also a remnant preserved for himself. The 144,000 has his name and his father's name on their foreheads in Revelations 14:1. The 144,000 are a first fruit remnant. These are the ones who follow the Lamb wherever he goes, because people have rejected the truth. They do not receive the love of the truth. They might be saved, and for this reason, Elohim sends them a strong delusion that they should believe the lie in 2 Thessalonians 2:10. This isn't random. Yahuwah allows deception because people choose lies. Her religion, tradition, comfort, or power over the true Yahuwah's name, Torah, and kingdom. So he gives them over to what they desire. Not because he is cruel, but because he is just. He will not force those who despise his truth to follow him. The world has replaced covenant with counterfeits. Just like ancient Yashurals traded the commandments of Yahuwah for Baal worship, the modern world traded Yahusha for Jesus, false version of his name. Deception is not merely ignorance. It is spiritual idolatry and rebellion in religion masked together as one. The 144,000 represents a purified, set-apart group of from the 12 tribes of Yasharal, sealed on their foreheads with the name of the Father, Yahuwah. This doesn't mean only 144,000 are saved, but they are the first to awaken to the truth and lead others out of Babylon. They're a sign that the harvest is near, because judgment begins first at the house of Yahuwah. For the time has come for judgment to begin at the house of Elohim, because Yahuwah judges the nations. He cleanses his own people first. This means exposing the mixture, the false doctrine, and the pride in the assemblies. The deception is part of the testing to see who truly loves him, to separate wheat from the tares. Yahusha taught this message. Deception is allowed so that the truth from the false, the obedient from the rebellious and stuck in religion, and the seals from the deceived can be clearly seen. In the end, Yahuwah will not gather mixture, only a pure bride. Return to the king.